Welcome to TyeDye Android. Taper John here as well. And here I am. Today we're talking about the LG V40. The leaks I've been watching and listening for in the last few days. And my opinions. My thoughts. V40, first off, looks like 5 cameras total, 3 in the rear and 2 up front. I don't know what the third one's going to be about on the rear. And we're also talking there might be an iris scanner, facial recognition. So not an iris. Facial recognition feature as well. That's a rumor. That could be what the second lens is for on the front. I'm not quite sure. Nobody really does yet. Just letting you guys know that everything of the official release of the V40 will be at the 2018 trade show in Berlin, Germany, which will be about the 3rd week of August, about 2 weeks before the Samsung Note 9 is released, and that's where one of my opinions comes in. Before I go into that, they're stepping up. They're using 6 gigabytes of RAM. So once again, they're keeping up with the other manufacturers, but they're also not advertising as much. So you know, everybody gets caught up on the hype. But before I get into all that, the quad DAC is still there. I don't hear any rumors, about any improvements on it, anything like that. We do know that the 1/8 inch jack is staying. The 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I don't know, I guess us here in the United States call it 1/8 inch and everybody else calls it 3.5. So the headphone jack. Oops, sorry about that. And speaking of that note, that minor glitch of noise, for the Lineage people, yes, I am broadcasting from my laptop using OBS. That's why I'm able to do that. And that. Okay. Anyways. Okay. But I'm also using my mic. I'm also speaking into the Sennheiser ME66. Just one of them. Shotgun microphone. And I'm going into my Yamaha AG06. And I got... and I'm mixing in with Burnt Toast and Jam song called Same Old Story. So I figured I'd break it up because everybody's getting kind of burnt out on Broke, Busted, and Disgusted. But I do need a new phone soon. But so that's covered for the Lineage people, and I covered up what I know from what I've been hearing. And like I said, 5 cameras, possible facial recognition, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and this is for the LG V40, and no improvements on the quad DAC that I've publicly been known or heard rumors about. Like I said, the 3rd week of August 2018 trade show in Berlin, Germany. That's when the official release is. And that brings me back to my opinions now. Now that I stated all the facts twice, you guys can always play back and rewind. But like I see in other videos, and I remember HTC having this problem, and I think they actually kind of still do, you know, but LG's falling into that, getting caught. No, Samsung's a pretty good advertiser. And same thing with Apple. And children, don't take this up this habit. But I enjoy smoking while I talk. And drinking my caffeine. But anyways, we're already getting hyped up on the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. And if you guys know me, you already know that I'm a Note series collector. So, you know, I'm a multitasker, a multi-power user, and so on and so forth. So you already know that I got the Note 8. I can't upgrade to the Note 9 as of yet. But everybody's hyped up about that. So LG doesn't, and they're, you know, with their release dates and all that, they're keeping everything hush hush. They don't get as much hype as Samsung and Apple do, which I know this is an Android affiliated channel, but we have to mention them once in a while. So LG pretty much, you know, doesn't have the market play. Like I said, the hype is already up there about the other devices that are coming out, the OnePlus, Samsung Note 9, whatever iPhone is coming out now, 10, 11, I don't know. So LG doesn't really get the market hype. You still have to wait until like the end of the year, and all of a sudden you'll hear this, you know, you want the Note, no, I can't afford this, I want something economical, but I still want this. Well, you know, you had the LG over here. You know, that's the kind of the market play that it's already at. People already got it fixated in their minds what they're gonna get, what are the top of the phones, and they don't look at the other manufacturers out there. And actually this year, just actually about a month or so ago, I was already scoping out what I'm going to be doing this winter when I upgrade. And it's like, do I want to stick with LG? Do I want to go with the Google Pixel? Do I want to try something different? I was doing some research on HTC as well, and it looked like the U11 didn't seem all that bad, but they just don't do nothing for me. And that's what's good about them. You know, they're just pretty much straight Android, and that's cool. They're giving it a top of the line, you know. They're offering you pretty much what everybody else has got and using, and probably at a somewhat cheaper cost. And you're not getting the hype. So you gotta be a dedicated HTC user to know what's going on. Same thing here with the LG. They gotta step up their game on advertising. Still a high quality phone. I love them to death because they're being loyal to us audiophiles. It's me being a taper and doing field recordings and stuff like that. I don't use the video aspect of it too much when I'm live streaming on YouTube, but when I just do regular videos and upload later, the camera seems just fine. Sometimes I like the Note cameras better, you know. And the audio, well, I use a third-party app because I'm using my shotguns and splicing it into the V40. So, but when I'm playing it back through my headphones, you can definitely tell the difference. So if they're going to stay with the 24-bit and quad DAC high def audio, and you're going to stick with, you know, gearing towards us audiophiles, I'm going to stick with LG as my alternative source. Because I cannot myself be totally Samsung, because there is like pure Android, then you got Samsung Android, And believe it or not, you got the Apple version of Android. They're running actually Apple is running Android. They just kind of tweaked their operating system just a little bit to make it their own. But they're still running Android behind the scenes, which is some minor tweaks. So, and that's why I included them on that. So there's like different levels, and the only way to get pure stock Android is probably getting the Google Pixel. And that's the closest you're gonna. I mean, that's the purest form of Android, and that's what you get. You don't get nothing extra. Yeah, and which is not a bad thing either, because then you're also getting, you know, you can always download an app and get what you want. But I like my Note 9s, or my Note series, and I like the quad high deck audio. Google Pixel is always a good option. Those are my reviews on the top 3 flagship manufacturers, and my opinions, my stubborn, bullheaded opinions. That's why I'm sticking with LG. And everybody knows why I stick with my Note series. So my mind's made up. I'm sticking with LG, and I'm waiting to see what happens towards the end of August when the V40 comes out. So once again, this was my opinions and the V40 rumors. Alright, as soon as I hear something, I will share it. Until then, you guys have a great day. Like me on Facebook. You can like me over here on YouTube as well. Be sure to like and subscribe. You never know what's going to come up. And you might want to check out Taper John over here. You might want to check out that channel as well, if you like live music. And that's where I do a lot of USB recording as well. So for now, like and subscribe. And I'll catch you later when the next video comes out.